This was my east-facing garage door on a balmy July morning, and here's the inside of the same door after I installed some insulation. Now this is the garage of a neighbor friend who recently moved to Arizona from Virginia. He thought he might like some insulation for his garage. He asked for some advice and assistance, which I filmed and will share with you because my TA told me I should help him and film it. It would help support the channel and make the TA happy if you would please hit the like button and also become a subscriber. Ring the bell if you'd like to be notified of new videos, and I appreciate your comments. Each box contains 8 insulation panels, and for one of his garage doors we're going to need about 2.5 boxes. In the description below I'll include links to the type of insulation and tools we used in case you're interested. By the way, if you aren't familiar with my TA, she is my task assigner, and I gotta say after 25 years of marriage, she's pretty skilled at assigning tasks. First things first, it's really helpful to remove these horizontal wind braces if you have any and get them out of your way. In our case, they had screws with 7/16 inch heads on them. We used an impact driver to easily remove the screws, but when it came time to put the braces back on, we only used the impact driver to reinstall the screws loosely and finished tightening them by hand with a socket wrench so we could gauge the amount of torque we were using. We needed to use a good amount of caution here since these were super easy to strip out if we weren't really careful. The next step is measuring and cutting. We would take several measurements because sometimes the vertical braces weren't totally straight. Next, we would use a tape measure at each end to set our long straight edge at the appropriate measurement, then score the vinyl top of the insulation with a box cutter blade. Here's a few pro tips we learned the hard way, so hopefully you don't have to. Using several shallow cuts rather than 1 or 2 deep cuts reduced the amount of excess styrofoam being ripped out, which was desirable since at best there are quite a bit of styrofoam bits going everywhere anyway. Using a type of box cutter with a long extendable blade made it easier to create a more angled, shallow cut. We found that using a long level wasn't very good because it had a wide edge and made it difficult to get the blade in there. A long straight edge with a shorter profile worked better. Having a vacuum handy was a must since all those styrofoam bits build up and it was nice to periodically get them out of the way. And finally, doing the cuts on a piece of old carpet on the floor was a lot harder on the back and legs than putting that old carpet on a fold-out table. Okay, let's get started with this trim job. The insulation panels were more than wide enough and each one had to be trimmed to fit. Unfortunately, they're only 20 inches tall and the garage door panels are about 3.5 inches taller than that, requiring an additional half box to finish off one full garage door. He has 2 garage doors, so in total we needed 5 boxes of insulation. It might be tempting to skip that top portion and save a box, but if we did that, we would have left more than 37 square feet of exposed hot metal, so it was worth it to just go ahead and do it. Since we added weight to the doors, we disengaged each garage door from the opener motor and performed a weight and balance check. If the garage door springs were adjusted correctly, we should have been able to lift the door about halfway and it should stay there when released. Since they didn't, we called a certified garage door company to come out and adjust the springs to account for the extra weight. Failure to do so would result in extra stress on the garage door motors and possibly lead to early unscheduled motor failure, which would be somewhat inconvenient, perhaps even expensive. That'll do it for today. If you'd like to watch some of my other DIY experiences from the viewpoint of a fellow homeowner and sporadic attendee of what I call the University of YouTube, check out some of my other videos. In the meantime, I think I'll enjoy an evening off. Goose Island Bourbon County Stout 2022. Cover me, Hollywood. I'm going in.